Уважаемые коллеги, добрый день. Прежде чем мы начнем работу, к сожалению, должен сказать несколько слов о трагедии, которая произошла сегодня в Актау. Разбился самолет, есть погибшие, раненых много. И, как мы сейчас только с вами и говорили, я от вашего имени хочу выразить соболезнования семьям погибших и всем пострадавшим. Будем надеяться на их выздоровление. По согласованию с президентом Казахстана в Актау вылетает самолет МЧС России с медицинским персоналом и с необходимым дополнительным оборудованием на борту. Я с утра разговаривал и с Ильхам Гейдаровичем Алиевым, который уже практически был почти на месте, вынужден был развернуться и вернуться в Баку, имея в виду, что самолет принадлежал азербайджанской авиакомпании. Ну, повторяю еще раз, будем надеяться на скорейшее выздоровление пострадавших.
This is my video update on this Wednesday midday, December the 25th, coming to you from Nicosia, Cyprus. Merry Christmas to everyone that is celebrating Christmas today. I wish you a happy, healthy, and Merry Christmas. Let's talk about some news. The rain has not stopped, so I will stay right here and we will talk about what is going on in the world. Unfortunately, we have some bad news on this Christmas Day, a plane crash over Kazakhstan from Azerbaijan, a plane flying from Azerbaijan to Grozny, crashed over Kazakhstan. From what I read, the cause of the crash was a bird strike, and some reports claim 105 people were on board this airplane. Other reports put the number at 67 with crew members. There are survivors. 27 people have been taken to hospitals in Kazakhstan. But unfortunately, there are a lot of people who died in this plane crash. So that's some bad news for this Christmas Day. In Ukraine, we had missile strikes, Russian missile and drone strikes targeting energy infrastructure, focused on Dnipropetrovsk, but there were also missile and drone strikes targeting the energy infrastructure of Kiev, Kharkov, and Zaporozhye. And we have reports of rolling blackouts in many cities in Ukraine. Air defense systems of Ukraine, they were a no-show, unable to stop the Kalibr missiles as well as Iskanders from hitting the energy infrastructure of Ukraine. Thermal power plants were targeted. Orban, keep in mind, Orban said, or he was pushing for a Christmas ceasefire. And Putin agreed. Zelensky did not agree. So staying with Ukraine and Zelensky's aide Podolyak, he wants the European Union to punish Hungary and Slovakia because Podolyak claims they are too pro-Russian. So Zelensky is calling on the EU to not only punish Slovakia and Hungary, but Podolyak in an interview also told Slovakia to leave the European Union. He said, leave the European Union because you are undermining the EU's reputation with all of your pro-Russian attitude, with your pro-Russian stance. Let me get you the quote from Podolyak. Podolyak, he said, "It is strange when a country like Slovakia comes out and says, let's work with Russia after all." He stated, arguing that Slovakia should leave the EU if it believes that Russia is in the right. Podolyak also said they, in reference to Hungary and Slovakia, are constantly blocking EU's initiatives at different levels. It is puzzling to me why they keep playing this game. The two countries are nullifying the EU's reputation, and there is no retaliation. The presidential advisor suggested that Brussels could use legal procedure and stop the ability of Hungary and Slovakia to block its initiatives. That's right. Orban and Fico are ruining the EU's rep. Orban, Fico, you're ruining the EU's rep. Leave the EU. You're ruining our reputation, bro. Yeah, Orban and Fico are trying to get to a ceasefire, trying to find a way to get to some sort of a peace in Ukraine. God forbid we get to some sort of a peace and a ceasefire in Ukraine, according to Podolyak. They want to keep the war going. They want the weapons and the money to continue to flow to Project Ukraine. And Orban said yesterday that there are two possible outcomes for the conflict in Ukraine. He said two outcomes. He said the one outcome is we get to a ceasefire and a peace deal. He said the other outcome is one of the two countries in this war will be completely destroyed. Orban did not name the country that faces destruction. But that is what Orban said. Two outcomes. Peace or one country is destroyed. So that was a statement from Orban. That is the statement from Podolyak. Oh, the rain is coming down now. Here comes the rain again. The Eurythmics, right? The Eurythmics, yeah, here comes the rain again. So did you guys catch Arestovych on the PBD podcast? Patrick Bet-David. Arestovych, one-time Zelensky's BFF, is now Zelensky's arch enemy. He is Zelensky's nemesis. Arestovych. He's hanging out in the U.S. I believe he's living and giving political commentary on Ukraine from the United States. Arestovych. He said that he is going to, I believe he said that he wants to become president of Ukraine when Zelensky is long gone. He was also asked by Patrick Bet-Davis, who do you have more confidence in? This is what PBD asked Arestovych. Putin or Zelensky? And Arestovych said, Putin. I trust Putin more. Patrick Bet-David's face was he buys into, I have a feeling he buys into all of the Russia is a gas station masquerading as a country. Russia's losing the war propaganda. I think PBD buys into all of that. So he was kind of taken aback by Arestovich's answer. But this is no coincidence that Arestovych was on the PBD podcast, because Patrick Bet-David, I believe he's very much aligned with Trump and the Trump White House. And who knows, maybe this is a signal that once Zelensky is gone, if we can get to some sort of a deal with Russia and we can get the Green Goblin to exit the scene, then his number one nemesis could be a potential replacement as president. I don't know. But I don't think it was a coincidence that Arestovych was on the PBD podcast. I think Arestovych, or maybe Arestovych, is being introduced to the American people as the Zelensky successor. Maybe. Just a guess, a wild guess. I'm probably wrong about this. So Trump actually he made a very interesting appointment to the Pentagon, which not many people are talking about. He appointed Elbridge Colby as Undersecretary for Policy at the Pentagon. He will be reporting to Pete Hegseth. He's one person removed, actually, from Hegseth. But it's an important appointment, if all of these people get approved, of course, by Congress, by the Senate, because Colby, he was opposed to the Iraq War in 2003. He's opposed to escalation in Ukraine, opposed to weapons being sent to Ukraine, including long-range missiles. I apologize if it's noisy, but the rain is coming down very hard, and this is where I ended up, at the abandoned Costa coffee shop in Nicosia. I actually did a Christmas video here. I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago. I was sitting right here, and I did a Christmas video back when this coffee shop was still operating. So Colby, he is against escalation in Ukraine, against long-range missiles. He actually said Ukraine is losing the war. He said that. But he does support sanctions on Russia. He also supports, I don't want to say he supports. He supports, what am I trying to say here? He believes that China should be the focus for the United States. He believes that China is the big problem for the United States. I don't want to say he supports a type of military escalation with China. I get the sense that Colby supports an economic escalation, a type of trade war, economic escalation with China. That's my sense of Colby, but he's definitely not a war hawk, though he is supportive of using U.S. economic leverage tools against U.S. adversaries. Let me put it like that. But he's absolutely against military escalation, and he believes that Project Ukraine should be wound down so that the United States can focus from an economic perspective on China. That's what I want to say. I think I'm right about this when I describe Colby. I think I am. What else should we talk about? The European Union, according to the Financial Times, is going through their gas storage at a very alarming rate. The Financial Times is very worried. In 2023, December of 2023, gas storage in the EU was at 90%. Today, December 2024, the gas storage levels are at 75%. And the Financial Times claims this is because of cold weather. The European Union is burning through, is that the right word? Burning through, running through their gas storage because of colder weather this year. And the Financial Times is very worried because the EU is relying mostly on LNG, very expensive LNG, from Qatar, from the United States, maybe from some Russian shadow fleets, though I don't think so. I think that's more oil when we're talking about shadow fleets. But yeah, they rely on Qatar and the United States for expensive LNG. The European Union is in a terrible recession. Most countries in the EU are going through a terrible recession. So this is not going to make things any better. And the only two pipelines that they have delivering cheaper gas is via Turkstream and via Ukraine. And the Ukraine pipeline, if you believe what Zelensky has been saying over the past couple of weeks, will be shut down. Gas transits by Russia, Gazprom, through Ukraine is going to be shut down, according to Zelensky. And this is going to be more problems. This is going to cause more problems for the European Union. And the Financial Times is saying next year, the EU could have serious gas problems. Gas problems. They're going to have serious gas issues to the European Union. What else? Biden, since we're talking about energy, Bidenopolis, he is preparing, according to the Washington Post, some big sanctions on Russia. The Washington Post says, with election over, Biden eyes parting blow to Putin war chest. The administration is considering major new financial sanctions on energy, in part to give the new Trump team leverage in Ukraine talks. But Biden may not want to drive gas prices up, even in his final days in office. Did we not call this? We called this. We called this. Biden is going to put big sanctions on Russia, and he's going to run with the excuse that he's doing this to help Trump. Biden is such a good guy, man. You see how much Biden cares about America and cares about a smooth transition for the Trump administration? He's such a swell guy, that Biden. Scranton Joe is such a swell guy. So yeah, he's going to place very, very big sanctions on Russian oil and gas, Russian energy, so that he can help Trump get some leverage over Russia as Trump will head into negotiations. What a nice guy, that Biden. What a bunch of bullocks. Bullocks. Yeah. Is bullocks a bad word? I don't know. Is it a bad word, everybody? Or is it a very common word? Yeah, Biden, he's doing this to help out Trump. But Alexander brought up the point yesterday in his video update that this is nonsense, because Trump does not need Biden to place sanctions on Russia. If Trump, when he becomes president, when he's in the White House, he can place sanctions on Russian oil if he wants to place sanctions on Russian oil. He doesn't need Biden to do it for him. So Biden, why is Biden doing this? Obviously, he's not doing this to help out Trump. He's doing this to make things difficult for Trump, to make any type of negotiations or ceasefire a bit more difficult, to stick it to Putin one last time. At least this is what's going through the diminished mind of Biden, and mostly Biden's White House, Biden's aides, Sullivan and Blinken and Newland, who is not in the White House anymore, but she's at the NED, the National Endowment for Democracy, and I'm sure she's popping in on Sullivan and Blinken every now and again. But yeah, he's doing this to send one final message to Putin, and he's doing this to send one big FU to the American people, right? Yeah, exactly. That is also why they are doing this, because what this is going to do as Biden exits, this is going to cause more inflation for the American people. So it is an FU to the American people, an FU to Trump, and an FU to Russia. At least this is how Biden is thinking about this. That's what he believes he's accomplishing. A very bitter, nasty, mean, dark Brandon. So, yeah, we got that news from the Washington Post. We have reports claiming that Russia and Iran are going to sign a strategic defense treaty on January 20th. Interesting choice of a day. But I haven't been able to confirm this, so I don't know if this is 100% confirmed. But I think that's an interesting development. Actually, we talked about this on the Duran 2 weeks ago. If this is actually going to happen, that Iran signs some sort of a treaty, strategic treaty with Russia, we talked about this 2-3 weeks ago on the Duran, and I remember Alexander saying, you know what's going to happen with Iran, as everything was going down in Syria, and everyone was saying that Iran has been very much hurt geopolitically. They've taken an L from what happened in Syria. Alexander said what's going to happen is that Iran is going to push for some sort of deal with Russia. You watch. He said, you watch. Iran is going to push for some sort of a strategic deal or an alliance or something with Russia. And 2-3 weeks later, it looks like that's what we're getting. I can't confirm this, but that's what it looks like. So good job. Good job on the Duran. Good job to the Duran. Good job to Alexander. You called this 3 weeks ago. So we have that story. Should I get into a clown world? Or do I have anything else to discuss? I think I got everything. I covered a lot of ground for Christmas Day, huh? Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's do a clown world. Is this a clown? I don't think this is a clown world. But Greenland, they said that they're going to increase defense spending. Denmark is going to increase defense spending in Greenland. That's not a clown world. Let me read you the news here. What's going on? Denmark will spend more than 1.5 billion on defending Greenland. Defense Minister Troels Lund Poulsen said days after Donald Trump said he wanted the territory under American ownership and control. For many years, we have not invested enough in the Arctic. Now we plan a stronger presence, he said. The Arctic. The big powers are fighting over the Arctic. Russia has a huge presence in the Arctic. China wants to get involved, wants a presence in the Arctic with Russia, of course. And then you have the United States and Canada and the collective West. And now Denmark is joining in to invest more money in Greenland for a stronger presence in the Arctic, in Greenland and in the Arctic. Trump is going to like this news, actually. The Trump administration is going to say, good, we want more investment in the Arctic. That's exactly what we want. More attention being paid to the Arctic. So, Maloney, this is a clown world. I don't know. I always have to say this now. I don't know if this photo is AI. It looks like it's real. I always have to say this now. Whenever I see photos or videos which look a bit strange, I have to say, I don't know if this is AI or if this is real. This looks real. It could be AI, or maybe, just maybe, I feel like I've got something in my eye. Or just maybe this is the angle of the camera. But Maloney, she traveled to Lithuania and she visited NATO forces in Lithuania, Italian soldiers, a part of NATO in Lithuania. And there was a selfie taken by the Italian soldiers. And you can see the photos that I'm putting up on the screen right now. What is up with Maloney's pants? She's got the Kim Jong-un style going on. Yeah. Interesting fashion statement from Maloney. Maybe it's the angle. Maybe it is the angle, though. But yeah, that's the clown world. Maloney. Georgia, Maloney. In Georgia, they're protesting again, by the way. They're still protesting, man. They don't give up. They do not give up. No reverse gear. They will not stop until Georgia Dream picks up Salome and moves her out of the office, like physically picks up her chair and her desk, and they place it outside of the office where she's at. Anyway, that's the video, everybody. TheDuran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, and X. Go to the Duran shop, pick up some merch, like what I'm wearing in this video, a Duran bomber jacket. Have a Merry Christmas. Enjoy the day, and I will see everybody tomorrow. Take care.